Paper Sean presents everything you need to ace English language arts in one big fat notebook. Notes borrowed from the smartest kid in class, double checked by an award-winning teacher. Unit 3 Fiction. Authorship and Narration. Let's go! We're at part 4! Almost halfway there. Alright, let's get to the point. What is an author? Let's take this book called The House of the Scorpion, for example. Usually, the author's name is usually written at the top, the bottom, or sometimes even in the middle of here. But it's usually on top of the title, in between the titles, or even at the bottom of the title. You have to figure it yourself. Sometimes I actually have a hard time figuring out who's the author to who's the, what's the title, because both of them are names, and then they're put in the same place, like the title is like Scorpio Man, and then like Scorpio Nancy, Man Farmer. It's like written like that. Some book publishers actually put their covers in that sort of order. So in those cases, you're gonna have to Google it up. So let's get this started with. What is an author? Now the author is the person who wrote the book, article, or poem, or other kind of work, and it's him who you have to pay if you want to actually go ahead and buy the book from him, or the manuscript from him, and publishing rights from him. And so usually it's actually that author's background and perspective that affects the way the book is written. So every author has a different biographical background, and that is usually the subject of a book or two. If it's an autobiography, that's basically a book written by the author about himself or herself. If it's by someone else, it's biographical, and that guy has his own copyright laws. So what includes into a biographical perspective anyway? Includes his culture, the historical period, where basically when the author was alive, and where the author was living at the time, and even the personal experiences. And depending on the time, place, and culture that the author lived in, his or her point of view can be very different from each of the different authors. And sometimes POV writing is really useful when it's writing dramas or scripts, or even books or comics. And let me give you an example. Let's say there were two countries, the blue country and the red country. If a poet grew up in the country of this blue country, what might this poem in the country of blue be like? If the playwright grew up in the red country, then there are literally different perspectives. Then let's just say that blue country invaded red country, and red country person starts talking about the invasion, writing about the invasion. Well then, here's how it works out. The blue country poet would probably write, "Blue is epic!" Well, read the titles. The blue country guy wrote, "Blue country is epic!" An epic by blue. The red guy wrote, "Red rules, blue sucks!" by red. And now let's actually compare author with the narrator. The author itself is actually non-fiction. A narrator is usually fictional, but sometimes the author can be the narrator itself if it's talking about him. If it's him talking about his life, then it's a non-fictional perspective, or the point of view, or even the narrator too. But if it's a story and the person talking, the one who's narrating and telling the whole story and talking about everything that seems happening is one other person, a character that this guy made, then it's fictional. The author and the narrator are not the same thing, unless it's an autobiography or something. But the narrator is usually fictional. And the author is always non-fictional. Let's compare Huckleberry Finn with Mark Twain. Here we go. Huckleberry Finn is the narrator. He's a fictional character. He's an orphan, he's a kid, and he can't write standard English, as well as he lives on the Mississippi. Well, Mark Twain is a real person. He's not an orphan, he's a grown man, he makes a living actually writing standard English, and he lives in Connecticut. See the difference between narrator and Mark Twain? That's the biggest difference of all. Narrators and authors are really, really different. And differentiating between the author and the narrator is the first step into actually understanding more about fiction. The narrator is reliable, meaning he can always tell the truth. But if he's really, really, really unreliable, that means he can't always say the truth. He's a really big fat liar. And here are basically the places where you find the Huckleberry Finn and all those places. These are the books where you can actually read it, and I've actually read them for quite a while and then stopped. There's the mark. It's been a while. Maybe I should start reading again. And so that is basically the end of today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed it a lot. Enough that you want to watch more of these. Then I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And then subscribe please. And see you guys soon. Stan out. Peace.